Hello and welcome to Housing Development, where we track development shaping the housing sector across Nigeria and beyond. As always, I am your housing diva, Flora, and today's edition is special as we focus on the housing challenges of Nigeria's civil servants, just ahead of Workers' Day, May 1st. Plus, trending news, key reports, and a look ahead to Africa's International Housing Show. Let's start with this week's biggest headlines in the housing sector.
Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Dangiwa, has assured that ongoing action plan by the federal government would deliver considerable new houses and help in reducing housing deficit. Dangiwa, who spoke as special guest at the annual general meeting of the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDAN, in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, said the federal government's Renewed Hope initiative was targeted at increasing supply of affordable houses to low-income earners. According to him, the Renewed Hope housing scheme is aimed at reducing the housing deficit by increasing the supply of affordable housing to low-income earners, currently being handled by the Federal Ministry of Housing. He urged contractors to work towards timely completion of these projects with quality and standards as enshrined in the Renewed Hope Housing Program. Managing Director, UPDC PLC, Odunayo Ojo, has underscored the role of housing as more than a social necessity, describing it as a critical cornerstone of economic development. He emphasized that Nigeria must prioritize affordable housing as a matter of national urgency. Ojo also positioned real estate as a key driver of economic growth, unveiling a refreshed corporate strategy focused on middle-income housing, institutional strength, and diversified revenue streams. Speaking in Lagos at the weekend, the company's leadership shared key milestones in its transformation journey, including a return to profitability, the resumption of dividend payment after nearly a decade, and an expanding footprint across the real estate value chain.
As Workers' Day approaches, we hit the street to hear directly from civil servants about their housing experiences, the challenges, the dreams, and the reality. Take a listen.
Nigeria government have not done well in implementing their housing program effectively, especially in the areas of the civil servant. Civil servant in this perspective narrow down to the ministry workers, which earn meager, small salary. And you find out that some of them, to even stay in a good environment becomes a problem, because at the end of the year, if you put their salary together, it's not enough to pay for an accommodation. And this housing program supposed to be kind of palliative that will help civil servants live in a good environment.
Actually, there is a scheme, but when it compared to the amount they are selling it, and compared to the salary workers is collecting, they are different entirely. You can't be able to do anything about it.
Housing is a key thing that workers should enjoy. If there's a housing scheme, then I think a lot of workers don't mind just working their life just to get that housing, because if you have to put in so many years into service, you're working in an employ, and at the end of those years, you don't have where to lay your head. It's really not good enough. So housing should be a priority. In fact, if government can just leave every other thing and then let the housing scheme be major in what they should let workers achieve at the end of their service, then good enough.
Well, the government is doing a lot to make sure that the workers get housing. But the problem here now is that comparing the salary, the salary of the workers, we discover that if you calculate the number of your salary, even from if you want to work for the maximum 35 years in office, if you calculate the number, the money they will deduct from your salary, it cannot even afford the amount that the cost of the houses that are building now. What we would advise government to do is that if government want to do it, if they can in a way make it in a way that the loan that will be paying, the government should calculate, at least give us some soft loan to pay for the houses, because most of us that are working, we are unable to afford a decent house. If you look, we see where we are working, where we are staying. Some areas where we are staying is not decent, but there is nothing we can do. We just have to manage it.
It has been a problem that up to now is not solved yet, because when you look at as a civil servant, you start maybe you are employed this year, you hope to work for the next 35 years, and one important thing is after 35 years and you can't have your own house, it's a problem. And the housing program has not been so effective. To be sincere, it has not been effective. If it's effective, only few people that have benefited out of this. You can imagine somebody earning 30,000 naira. There are a lot of issues on ground, family problems, personal problems. How much are you going to save? How much are you going to spend? Look at the cost of building materials. First of all, you have to obtain your land, the starting of the plan, what type of house you want to erect. 30,000 naira is not achievable.
Nigerian voices there, powerful stories from rising rent to distant commutes. It's clear housing remains a pressing issue for many workers. You're watching Housing Development, bringing homes closer to Nigerians. I'll be right back after the break.
Let's go.
Huh? What is it again?
Oga, and they drive this car, my mind no dey. My landlord is on my neck.
Your landlord again. I thought I have told you this before. Get a mortgage, register with NHF scheme, and get a home up front. What is so difficult about this?
Oga, I will do just that. See, I will shame that my landlord. Mortgage.
At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home.
Up next, a closer look at housing affordability for Nigerian civil servants. Despite new salary structures and government promises, owning a home remains out of the reach for many. How can more civil servants in Nigeria become homeowners? Let's watch this.
Housing conditions and affordability problems of civil servants is no longer news, as many have expressed dissatisfaction in the scheme. These public servants, who are meant to enjoy their dividends of service during and after retirement, have in recent time seen the reverse, especially in the area of affordable housing. Speaking on the housing plight of civil servants, the President, Joint Union Action Committee of the FCTA, Oluwakorede Martin Lukoro, emphasized on the importance of housing as a means to ensure productivity of workers, while urging the government to do better.
They can still do more, because as we speak now, quite a number of our staff lives outside the FCT. When you talk of Kefi, Kwali, Abaji, Suleja, and all that, some even stay as far as Kaduna, and they come on daily basis. So I still believe that celebrating May Day today, it will be something very remarkable if the Nigeria as a government and the FCT as administration can begin to look inward on how to solve the housing problem, which is seriously a problem generally across the board. But for us at FCT, and as the president of the Joint Union, I say that Bello has taken a step in the right direction, and we want him to do more because it's just about solving about 5, 10, 15% out of the whole problem. You can see we still have a long way to go. But a step in the right direction is good, and that is what he has taken, and we love that.
For Comrade Lucky Samuel, the housing program has not been quite effective. He called on stakeholders involved to show practical measures in meeting the needs of beneficiaries.
I think in theory, they have been speaking and writing and putting up issues. They should look at their theory, compare it vis-a-vis the practical. The directors, this public service or servants, call it the permanent secretaries. I think they have been really not fair and honest to civil servants. We have fish. We have fish. We have other integrated housing schemes. They asked me a question. For the past eight years of administration of Buhari, how many? Let them tell us how many they have been able to execute. You see the Ministry of what they call it, Ministry of Works and Housing. He will tell you have over this and that 200, 2,000. We want to see practicability. Let us see the beneficiaries. FCT is one. This is the exemplary life. Let the Minister of Works and Housing tell us how many of these parastatals, MDAs or ministries that are benefited, how many, and compare it with the number of the staffs, and tell me whether we can get up to 5 or 10% of the workforce in Abuja. Then to talk of Lagos or any other federal civil servant that are all over the federation, you see that it's a colossal failure as far as I'm concerned.
Many wonder if this height has truly been achieved. The government has a huge role to play in subsidizing housing and mortgage costs to Nigerians, especially civil servants, so as to enhance accessibility and affordability.
My name's Robert Hornsby with American Home Builders of West Africa. Keep watching Housing Development Program.
Well, the numbers don't lie. Why initiatives exist, stronger, more accessible housing finance systems are urgently needed. Housing development will be right back with more stories shaping the future of the leap. This is housing development. The chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, has announced that stamp duties will be exempted from property rent below 10 million naira, as enshrined in the new tax reform bills currently in the National Assembly. Oyedele disclosed this in Abuja at the Building and Construction Industry Forum with the theme Nigerian Tax Reforms and the Building and Construction Industry, Implications and Opportunities, organized by the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria and Housing Development Advocacy Network.
In a significant step towards aligning tax policies with development goals, the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, COBON, in collaboration with the Housing Development Advocacy Network, HDAN, convened a crucial meeting in Abuja themed Nigeria's Tax Reforms and the Building and Construction Industry, Implications and Opportunities. The chairman of COBON, Dr. Samson Ame Opaloa, emphasized that the meeting was part of activities marking COBON's 35th anniversary.
We agree that one of the key reforms being pursued with fervor is that relating to tax. The building and construction industry, because of its critical role in infrastructure development and its contributions to the nation's GDP, will certainly be impacted by these reforms on tax.
Delivering the keynote address, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, he further noted that the built environment sector stands to benefit immensely from the new tax regime.
Discussing some more specific areas affecting the building and construction industry in terms of the implications and the opportunities. One is VAT exemption. So no VAT on land, no VAT on sale of real estate, and rent is exempted from VAT. Some of these were areas of controversies in the past, what we've done in the reform bills is to make them very clear, so there is no debate. Because sometimes even when you are right and it's not clear, you may spend 10 years in court trying to find out. So those problems will be behind us. Stamp duties. There's exemption on stamp duties for rents that is below 10 million naira a month. So if you're paying rent, which is what many people would do because they don't own a house, you won't have to pay stamp duties unless you're a rich person who is paying a lot. It's not like we are punishing rich people, it's just that they have better ability to pay. Then capital gains tax is exempted on the sale of your dwelling house. So if you have a dwelling house that you are selling, sometimes when you sell a dwelling house, it's not a good thing. It might be because of circumstances, so we don't want you to be paying capital gains tax. Withholding tax on construction, maximum of 2%, so which means the rate is very, very significantly reduced. Although this will not apply to some of the services. You know, there's a lot of services in your sector as well. Some of those sector services are considered to be professional services and they will attract a higher rate. There's priority sector incentive. So we identify sectors that we believe should be priority to Nigeria, and then we've introduced some incentives for those sectors to grow in a very meaningful way. And one of the sectors included is building materials. So this priority sector incentive is biased towards manufacturing, not so much of services. Again, because as a country, we need to prioritize producing things more than anything else. So we have that, and then the land reform. So this aspect of our reform is still ongoing. So we are discussing with the subnational, you know, they're the ones that own the lands. We're discussing with them on how to ensure that we have proper land reform to enable activities in the build sector. Why is it so complicated to get title to land, do land transaction? You know, so if you go and buy land in Lagos, for example, you start praying to God that they've not sold it to 5 people at the same time. You know, those things constrain our ability to grow. So we believe as we're able to open up the space and do land reform, there will be more activities in the building and construction sector, and by extension, it will positively impact on the whole economy.
The panel session featured prominent stakeholders including Mrs. Saadia Saibu Aliyu, MD and CEO, Urban Shelter, Builder Adetunji Adeniro, Registrar of Carbon, Moderator, Builder Lawal Aliyu Magaji, former MD, Abuja Property Development Company, APDC, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, Chairman, Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms.
Taxation is something that makes us sit up much more and take things more seriously. The taxation reform laws, I think, has the opportunity to easily create a revenue fund for the economy, to capture more and expand the tax base, to reduce the ambiguity, I think create more transparency also in the whole system.
There are a lot of archaic laws, as explained by the dear speaker. A couple of years back, I was faced with dealing with Nigeria Railway Corporation, and there was an agreement that we had to sign, and they brought those agreements with laws, I think citing ordinances. Those are pre-independence laws. And there were even penalties that we had to pay in shillings, and I didn't know where we could find shillings.
Also contributing, Barrister Festus Adebayo, Executive Director of HDAD, expressed concern over multiple taxation, advocating for incentives to support professionals in the building industry.
What happened to that real estate developer who has to go to 12 agencies in Lagos and pay money, or in the name of building a house in the estate? And that has made the houses not affordable. And the people that really build the houses cannot get it. What is your reform doing in the area of incentive to encourage developers to go into the development of affordable housing? there any provision that says if mobile shelter grows into the production of low-cost housing for the journalists, for the doctors, this is the incentive we are going to enjoy. We believe if that incentive is introduced, now that we are still at the point of discussion, that will address our issue of affordability in the housing industry. I'm one of those people that support the idea that empty houses should be taxed. We know the owners. So let's get the money that the same people that we are looking for. So let's get money from them.
As Nigeria continues to push for economic reforms, stakeholders believe it is a new dawn for the building and construction sector with strategic implementation. Taxation, when rightly applied, can be a driver of both progress and prosperity.
The program is housing development. Now let's look at why you should attend the 19th Africa International Housing Show as an exhibitor, sponsor, or attendee. The Oba of Lagos, His Royal Majesty Oba Rilwan Akiolu, has endorsed the Africa International Housing Show during a coastal visit by the Africa International Housing Show delegation, where the monarch reaffirmed the importance of decent housing for every Nigerian.
In a major stride towards advancing the housing sector and promoting affordable housing, the board members of Africa's largest housing and construction exhibition show, the Africa International Housing Show (AIHS), paid a courtesy visit to the Oba of Lagos, His Royal Majesty Oba Rilwan Akiolu, to explore collaborative opportunities and drive progress. The visit underscores the importance of the provision of decent housing for every Nigerian. This visit highlights the critical need for accessible, quality housing for all Nigerians, emphasizing a commitment to improving living standards nationwide. During the visit, Oba Akiolu lent his esteemed support to the Africa International Housing Show (AIHS), emphasizing that housing transcends mere shelter. It's a matter of dignity, security, and a foundation for a thriving society. He urged leaders at all levels to make housing a national priority, noting that universal access to decent homes would significantly boost national stability and economic growth. Town planner Toyin Ayinde, former Lagos State Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development and leader of the AIHS delegation, briefed the Oba of Lagos on the upcoming Africa International Housing Show 2025. The event is set to take place at Transcorp Hilton, Abuja from July 27 to August 1, 2025, promising a pivotal moment for the housing and construction industry.
It's my privilege, sir, to lead this team of African International Housing Show to Your Royal Majesty. In fact, it used to be known as Abuja International Housing Show, which ran for about 14 years consecutively. And it was when it began to draw people from various parts of Africa and other continents, Germany, Turkey, US, UK, that people thought this should not be limited to Abuja International Housing Show. So it was retagged Africa International Housing Show. And this is an annual event meant to promote affordable housing.
Barrister Festus Adebayo, AIHS coordinator, extended heartfelt gratitude to the Oba of Lagos for the audience and valuable guidance. He noted that the monarch's words resonated deeply, highlighting the imperative of prioritizing affordable housing as a cornerstone of Nigeria's economic and social progress.
We have decided to come here today to seek royal blessing for our advocacy, of affordable housing for Nigerians. With the development in the country, with the rise in the prices of building materials, a lot of people that are supposed to fall into the category of homeowners have not been able to achieve that. And they are all busy battling without to reach. The issue of rent has become a big problem. So we have come here to speak with the highly respected Royal Father, His Royal Majesty of Akeolu, to seek his blessing and get him to endorse our advocacy that political leaders should put housing as a priority.
The visit underscored a collective commitment to building a future where every Nigerian enjoys decent, affordable, and sustainable housing. This shared vision, eloquently articulated by Oba Rilwan Akiolu, serves as a powerful guiding force for collaborative progress.
So mark your calendar and save the venue, Transcorp Hilton Event Center, Abuja, Nigeria, to be part of this impactful gathering in the housing sector. That's it for today's edition of Housing Development. As we celebrate workers this week, let's remember, safe, affordable housing isn't a luxury, it's a right. Join me next week as I continue to track the heartbeat of housing across Nigeria and beyond. I remain Flora. Thanks for watching.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.
Unlike large markets, Piakasa in Lugbe, Abuja, is home to several stand-alone shops specializing in different building materials. These independent traders play a crucial role in supplying essential construction items, but they are also facing serious challenges due to rising costs and economic instability. We visited some of these shops to speak with business owners and understand the realities they face in today's market. Our first stop was at Timothy Malakai's workshop, where he specializes in aluminum installation and fabrication. He shared his concerns about the rising cost of materials and how it is negatively affecting his business. A window that used to cost 45,000 now sells for 95,000. The high cost of materials is making it difficult for customers to afford this product, and it is affecting our business.
Business has been fine, but due to the inflation of things, I can't really say it has been really fine, but at least hoping with God, yeah, we are pushing forward. This is a casement window, okay, but a toilet casement window. I think this for the last 5 years you can get this for 20,000 naira, but now this is 45,000 naira for just one with the net. So you see, things are really expensive.
Malachi further explained that the constant increase in prices have slowed down business operations, making it very difficult for traders to survive.
Dropping a quotation on a duplex now. So if you should have 3 rooms, just hope and know that, okay, if you have 3 rooms, you'll be having 2 standard windows per room and a toilet. Okay, 2 standard window, 1 toilet, 3 rooms. Now that should be like, let's say six windows, 6 standard, 3 toilets. What about this? The sitting room windows. Let's say we have 3 in the sitting room, okay, and the kitchen, yes. So having that now, using the standard windows for 95,000 naira, getting 6 windows, 95 times 6, you get your digits. Checking 45 or 40,000 naira times 3. Yes, that's for the toilets. And then the kitchen, probably some people like okay, the store. Yes, the store has to be, and then the visitor's toilet. Okay. So combining that now, probably you'll be getting up to 800 to 900,000 naira. Yes, just for those windows.
We met Uloma Chikoge, a civil engineering graduate, who, after struggling to find a job, decided to start her own business. Today, she's an employer of labor in a male-dominated industry.
I'm into production of blocks, interlock, anything concrete. What took me to construction is what I studied in school as a civil engineer. So, you know, the government we are into, not seeing job, we have to set up our own to achieve our aim. This is 6 inches blocks. Late January, we sold at 500 per one, but because of increment in dust, you see the dust over there that we are using, the company that is producing the dust added extra 1,000 for us. So it involved us to increase our own price of commodity at 550 naira per one for 6 inches. Then 9 inches down there, we sell it 600 now. Initially it was 550 to site, but now it's 600. Then we move to interlocking. We have different shapes, but let me just summarize it. It goes for 6,000 naira per square meter. Initially it was 5,000, but because of, you know, our economy is not steady, it goes up and come down, but we sell at minimum of 6,000, depending on the person that comes for the marketing. Then we have cement. Actually, the price of cement now we sell at 9,300. Initially is 9,005, but this year 2025, we see it good that the cement is coming down. So the more it come down, the more we reduce the price. We can give at 9,200 depending on the person. So that is so far so good. Then I'm also into latrat, sharp sand, and shippings. So the price of shipping now is 10,500 for stone dust, while granite is 9,500. Then coming to sharp sand, within this as is Piaka Salube, we sell at 170,000. We deliver at 200. Area 1 and other places 210. So that one doesn't have a fixed price.